yeah. Oh, there you are.
No.
Get your ass over here.
No, please stop.
Woo! What's good, everybody? My name's Eli, and in this video, I'm gonna be telling you why Tower Raid is objectively bad and why it's a bad sign for the future of Dying Light 2. People are pretty divided when it comes to Tower Raid. Some people are riding Techland's meat like it's a prize pony at a petting zoo, while others have never been more disappointed in anything in their entire lives. In spite of all the mixed opinions, I personally don't think that Tower Raid is bad so much as it's just mid. And I know that's a little contradictory, so you might be asking me, if Tower Raid isn't that bad, how come you hate it so much? Because Tower Raid was hyped up for the better part of the year as the biggest thing coming to Dying Light 2 in 2024. Then, after months of waiting, it finally dropped and there's absolutely nothing special about it. And that brings me to my main issue with Tower Raid. It's just more of the same. It's a fucking glorified survivor mission. I mean, like, actually, there's almost nothing new. There are no new enemies, no new mechanics besides this weird fucking roguelike thing they've got going on, no new weapons, and no new story or dialogue. In fact, there feels like there's no significance to anything we're doing, despite it being set up as something huge. Jay tells us when we first start Tower Raid that it's a big deal and we're the only ones who can do it, then fucks off forever. You'd think that at the very least they'd include some voice lines mid-raid, but nope. There's nothing even resembling a story within Tower Raid. The gameplay itself isn't great either because it downright ignores the best aspect of Dying Light 2. It's parkour. In the main game, you fight most of your enemies in wide open areas with a bunch of surfaces to use your parkour abilities on, but Tower Raid is almost exclusively small and enclosed spaces. I think the reason why so many people are disappointed in Tower Raid is that it was overhyped and under-delivered, which honestly has always been the case with anything Dying Light 2. Now that I've told you how Tower Raid itself is bad, let's move on to how Tower Raid is bad for Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 was a huge disappointment on release for many, if not most, of the Dying Light community. It was a downright horrible sequel to the first game and a buggy, broken mess besides that. Normally, if a game was that dog shit on release, the developers would just take the loss and move on. But Techland decided they were going to try and implement the community's feedback and fix their game. Over the next 2 years, Techland patched in fixes and missing features back into Dying Light 2. But slowly over time, the game developed an identity crisis. When Dying Light 2 first released, it was a single-player parkour zombie game. While it wasn't what most people wanted, the game knew what it was. For like the first year, Techland did nothing but improve upon what was already in the base game, but after a while, Techland just said fuck it and started adding whatever random ass feature they could think of into the game. I think the first major offender was the introduction of chapter vendors like Harper. Chapter vendors gave out bounties which could be returned for unique weapons and armor. While it sounds nice on paper, the way they were implemented made them feel very out of place. It felt like a weird mod for the game rather than a part of the actual game world. The chapter vendors got their own new page in the inventory, a small and unoriginal location, and had absolutely no play in the story at all.
I don't even know who you are.
Another huge offender in my eyes was Techland's Pilgrim Outpost. The Pilgrim Outpost is basically just another chapter vendor, except instead of actually being in the game, it's a separate website. You've got to go out of your game, look up the website, link your game, select a bounty, go back to your game, then complete the bounty, claim the reward on the website, then find it in your stash in-game. Confused yet? I fucking am. Either way though, having parts of the game, however small, tied to a website basically ensures the game will not have a long shelf life. As soon as the servers become too expensive to keep up, them bitches are gone. Another good example of Techland adding out-of-place features would be the introduction of guns. As fun as they are, they just don't fit into Dying Light 2 at all. Ignoring the fact that Dying Light 2 has lore reasons why there aren't guns, and a side mission that completely hinges on that fact, they don't even fit into combat anyway.
Dude, this is not what John Shotgun intended whenever he invented the shotgun.
There are only 3 distinct ranged enemies in Dying Light 2. The Spitter, the Archer, and whatever the fuck these things are called. Now, none of these enemies are even capable of holding guns, so the guns just end up feeling extremely overpowered. Even volatiles are no fucking match. Also, excluding the guns only obtainable through microtransactions, there haven't been any new guns released apart from the original 4. It's not really the gameplay that bothers me when it comes to guns, however. For me, the biggest issue is how you obtain them. For those of you who don't know, Jay is the newest chapter agent, and a few months ago, he introduced us to the greasy little shit stains known as survivor missions, which are, in my opinion, the single most infuriating part of the entire game. In survivor missions, you go into random areas on the map and try to complete some arbitrary objective, all while battling copious amounts of Techland's copy-paste enemies.
Alright, which one of you motherfuckers is key.
They put so many of these motherfuckers in there that it feels nearly impossible to complete some of these on your own, which is undoubtedly an intentional play by Techland so that you'll have to invite some friends to help you. The only problem being that survivor missions fucking blow and my friends would rather take turns swimming in a wood chipper. Anyways, you rinse and repeat that for about 3 days and you're finally able to unlock the first 2 rewards. Tower Raid continuing and expanding upon survivor missions is a bad sign because it shows us that Techland's biggest interest is in pushing out as much replayable slop as possible so that they can earn a quick buck, even if it means destroying what little was left of their reputation. Alright, video's over. See you guys in like 4 months. This fucking sucks.